We are live. This is the NBA Rundown. The channel is Nuke the House. That's right, nukethehouse.com. And if you're not a member, head on over. Use the promo code Nuke November. Get your first week free on a month-long package. So you guys should be taking advantage of that. But if not, Tyler and I got you covered. We are here to break down this NBA slate, and we'll give you some free winners, and we'll keep the rest behind that paywall. Tyler, I am pulling up Bookmaker right now to see how much these lines have moved since I did my picks this morning. And the first game on the docket is the Philadelphia 76ers. They're in Orlando. They're taking on the Magic. The total is a low 208.5. And Tyler, Joel Embiid will play his second game of the season. Paul George will be out there tonight. There's still no Tyrese Maxey, and there's a kid named Jared McCain. I think that's his name. He's the first TikTok star. I've seen all the TikToks of him dancing around. First real TikTok star to go viral on the NBA. Tyler, I'm on the Magic here. Embiid's conditioning has been suspect, and we saw that in his first game back, where you could really tell he was out of shape, and he didn't really seem to like the contact very much either. Now, to be fair, tonight, they don't have the same centers. There's no Wendell Carter out there. But the Magic, we thought it was all doom and gloom when they lost Paolo, and they did lose 3 or 4 straight. But since then, the Magic have done well, especially at home. And we were on the wrong side of that when we took the Pacers on that back-to-back off the last NBA Cup game, which the Magic did win. So the Magic are 1-0 in the NBA Cup tonight. The Sixers, they lost their first NBA Cup game, and that was the loss, of course, to the New York Knicks. So we were on the right side of that one, fading the Sixers. And I'm going to do it again tonight. And, Joel Embiid is a great player and, deserves the accolades that he deserves. Well, except for one of them, but we won't get into that right now. I just don't trust him yet, and I don't think he's back, and he's definitely not going to be there in the fourth quarter. This Magic team is grit and grind. They play defense. They play basketball the right way, and they figured out how to absorb that loss of Paolo scoring. They're distributing it correctly. Anyways, long story short, Tyler, I'm on the Magic. What do you think of my pick?
Yeah, I don't want to hate your pick. I'm going to trust the projections here and go with the Magic also. It's an ugly game. It's Philly. I really don't want to bet Philly games, but I'll trust the projections and jump on the Magic with us. We've been running hot.
That's funny that you brought up Philly, Tyler, because I have a new Philly team right now. I'm trying to get it so this sunshine isn't all over me. All right. My new Philly team, Tyler, is the Indiana Pacers. Now, I'm not going to blacklist them and say I'm not going to bet them again. Look who's in the chat, Tyler. Oh, my gosh. My day is made. What's up, Mikey? I also see my guys Clyde and Jason Graham.
I'm going to get you fired up.
Mikey is the all-time NBA rundown troll. Nobody can get me fired up more than Mikey. You should have seen when we all met up, Tyler. We flew in around the same time. The big smile on his face as I rolled out.
Waiting outside for you to walk off the plane.
It was great, dude. I'm so happy to see you, Mikey. Yes, I'm drinking coffee before bed, Mikey. Hey, how is he talking to me about bedtimes? Wasn't he the one going to bed at 7 p.m. all the time?
I think so. I can't remember.
Unbelievable here, Tyler. All right, Mikey, seeing you made me smile, but it got me away from my train of thought. And the Indiana Pacers are the team that I have no idea what to do with right now. It seems like they either put up 130 or 90. So like my projections are going to project them to score like 110 every night. But this team is really inconsistent, and I'm having problems getting a handle on this team. When I took them over the Magic, I thought, oh, things are coming together. Halliburton, he was recovering from that back. They're going to look better. And they only put 98 up. And the reason I think that's important is the Miami Heat play a similar style of defense. Now, my projections are telling me to take the Heat right now, Tyler, but as of right now, I'm just staying away from this game altogether. And until I get a better handle on this Pacers team, I don't think I'm going to bet them. I'm going to treat them how we treated Philadelphia last year. So talk to me, Tyler. Maybe you have a better feel for this Pacers team, but I can't get a hold of them at all. What do you think of this game?
I hate this Pacers team spread. I hate Halliburton. Yeah, anytime I bet on him, he doesn't do anything. I get he's hurt, but not half these guys are hurt. Get out there and play. Miami's still missing Jimmy Butler. This is just a game. These first couple games are just ugly. I don't want anything to do with this one either.
All right. Well, I like that Magic play a lot. I think the 76ers are kind of living off that.
I'm going to bet the Magic. I'm going to trust you in the projections. But
Please
this
do.
Miami-Indiana game, I don't think we have to force anything.
Yeah. I mean, so just so you guys know, my projections would tell you to take the points. The market agrees. This was +5 when I ran the numbers this morning. And it's +4.5 here. And I did do something terrible, Tyler, and take one under. My projections like the under here, but I am really wary of taking NBA Cup unders because we know that point differential and the number of points scored matters. So both teams have an incentive to play a little quicker than usual. So projections like the under, but I'm staying away there. Tyler, another play that I do like, though, is the Detroit Pistons. They're in Toronto. They're taking on the Raptors. And we talk about injuries, and the Raptors are one of those teams that's really suffering. Two of their top scorers, Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickley, will both miss this game. At the same time, we talked about Detroit, and I know they got off to that slow start, and maybe that's where we're getting a little bit of value now. But they seem to have a good mix right now of veteran leadership, but youthful talent. And the two young players that I really like are Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, and I think that they're both going to have excellent games tonight. Toronto on Friday is tough. Taking road favorites on a Friday is tough, but I think the NBA Cup helps us here because, the Pistons are really going to be motivated here. This is a young team that's looking to grasp on anything they can to kind of build some momentum and grab some excitement behind that city, as this Pistons team has really struggled for the last 3 to 4 years. So I like the Pistons here, even though they're in Toronto. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the Pistons here. I mean, they should have won that game against the Bucks. It just took that third quarter where the Bucks played very well. It beat us.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Jaden Ivey's still going to be out, but everyone's still out on the Toronto side. So I think Detroit wins this game. They won their first Cup game. So just like you said, they're going to cling to something. It could be this. They're going to give it their all tonight. Detroit -1.5. I think that's an easy one.
And that's why I'm a big fan of this NBA Cup. It just feels like it raises the stakes on these meaningless regular season games. So,
yep.
Of course, guys, if you want all the plays, they're at nukethehouse.com. Use that promo code NukeNovember. Get your first free on at least a month-long subscription. The Washington Wizards are +9. They're in Atlanta. They're taking on the Hawks. And I committed a cardinal sin in this game, Tyler. I took the under in a game between the Wizards and the Hawks. Am I going to regret that? I could buy out now.
That's a ballsy call with Trae Young back
I
to for
know.
this game.
I know. I'm kind of starting to regret it. That's why I'm asking
Like
you.
You've been playing with fire with these Atlanta total spread. Look, we took an over without Trae Young. Now we're taking an under when he's back in the game.
Yeah.
With the worst defense on the other side. So I'm going to fully leave this one to you. There ain't no way I'm touching that under. If you win, you win. I hope you count that money, but I will not be joining you on that one.
All right, that's fair enough. And I'm kind of having some buyer's remorse on that play here. This total was 235 before Young was ruled in. 7 points does seem about right. So what do you think on the side, Tyler?
I think Atlanta wins, but I don't want to lay 9 with them. 9 seems like a
Here's
lot.
the thing. Wizards are 2-0 against them this year. So it's not, I mean, that's what to me makes this +9 really attractive. Now, there's two ways to look at it. The first one is, well, Atlanta's going to take them seriously because they've already lost twice this year. Or the second is, hey, this team just matches up really well against them for whatever reason. And that's why they continue to win outright, even when they're catching points, as they did the last time where I think they were -5. To me, it's +9 or pass. I mean, I didn't put it on there, but I was seriously considering the Wizards. I mean, they won 2 games in a row, and all I'm asking them to do is not lose by double digits.
I mean, I see where you're coming from. We got a big slate. I don't want a lot involved in the Wizards and the Hawks. I'll say that.
Yeah, maybe I'm too into these terrible.
We were running hot, but I mean, do we really want to test our luck with Washington and Atlanta?
I mean, I already did. I'm on the under. And if I would have waited, I'd get a better number. It was 241.5 when I gave it out this morning, and now it is 242. So obviously everyone likes the over there. Another game, Tyler, that with a double-digit close spread is the Brooklyn Nets are now plus 9.5, taking on the New York Knicks. Let me pull up my projections real quick because if I remember right, they told me to take the Nets, but I didn't feel like I should do that.
But you got the Knicks winning by 7.
Yeah, so it's not a huge edge, but it's actionable if we can find some actual basketball reasons behind it. Here's the thing. I don't know if I can. Is Towns going to miss tonight? Do you have the injury reports up?
He's got a Q tag. It says left knee contusion, so he could
Would
miss.
you like the Nets more if Towns is out, or
Yes.
do you think it even matters?
I think it matters if he's out. I mean, they don't have many ways to score, and he's been scoring the ball very well. So
yeah, he's been their top offensive player.
If he's out, it's going to be tough. Brunson's already banged up with that ankle. This could be one of those games where it's just a dogfight for the Knicks, and they end up gutting it out late. We talked about taking Brooklyn plus a lot of the points, and they keep a lot of these games close. Ben Simmons off the injury report, Dorian Finney-Smith back in. That's more defense on the Brooklyn side. I think if I had to play this, I'd take the 9.5 with Brooklyn.
Okay, so we're not going to give everything out for free, Tyler. Let's discuss that after the show. And if we decide to play it because projections like it, you kind of like it, we'll go ahead and give it out.
It's a Josh Hart double-double or a triple-double here. Cat misses, he could have a big game. His double-double is 145. His triple-double is 18-1.
I don't like the triple. Go double-double.
I mean, but his triple-double, he does get it a lot. I will say that. He plays every minute he can. He'll be on the floor.
Yeah. I'm just worried about the assists in a game with a total of 216.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. So when we do make that decision final, if you're not a member right now, use that promo code Nuke November. Get the first week free. Next up, Tyler, the Chicago Bulls are catching 10.5 in Cleveland, taking on the Cavaliers. It's a Bulls game, so the total sky high. It's 238. Now, I believe these two teams played earlier this week. It was Monday, right? And the total was 239.
We went under, right?
We played the under, and it was not looking good. The live total was like 250 going into the fourth quarter, and then nothing happened in the fourth quarter. However, I'm going to just escape with that win. I'm not going back to the well with that total, Tyler. And yeah, even though I have it at 231, but I'm not going to do that again. I also have the Cavs winning by 9. So not really a huge edge projection-wise. What do you think on this game? I'm kind of fine staying away from it.
Yeah, it probably ends up being a stay away. I mean, I lean towards the under again. I see it back at 239. It's back up to where it was the first game.
Okay.
I mean, I know it looked like they were going to go over flying, but I think this game goes more low scoring than it goes high scoring with the pathways it has. If Mobley plays, it's just going to be hard for them to get second chance points. If he's out, though, Jared Allen double-double at minus 130 doesn't look like a bad look. Cavs probably just keep winning spread. It's going to take them just having an off day or a team fully motivated to steal a game from them to beat them. And I don't think Chicago's that team.
Do you think Chicago keeps it close, though?
I think they have a chance, but I think there's also a chance that they're down 15 most of the game. And you're kind of like, can they go on that little run to get me within the 10? And they just never do it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Tyler. Let's keep it moving now. Mikey's favorite team, the Los Angeles Lakers, is laying 3 in San Antonio, taking on the Spurs. Total 227.5. Tyler, my predictions have the Spurs winning outright. And, it's funny. I did the wagering world with Sino and 5-Star, and after the show, Sino and I were kind of going over our NBA looks for tonight. And I go, man, I'm surprised I got the Spurs winning outright. And my inputs are fairly simple. So it's like, well, let's figure out, why they'd like that. Oh, it's because the Lakers have the 26th best road net rating. They're losing by an average of 9.9 points on the road, and they're winning by an average of 16.6 points at home. The Spurs are average at home, but the Lakers have been really bad on the road. So if this was just a normal Friday night and the courts were normal and there was no NBA Cup, I would take the Spurs. However, Tyler, you know that we know the motivation exists in the NBA and it's a big thing. Do you think that with the Lakers and the NBA Cup defending champions, and do you think they get up for it here? I see our guy Ry Cape in the chat. He likes the Spurs money line as well. He's on the under in the Bulls game, but let's go back to the Spurs game. What do you think, Tyler? You know I'm a Lakers hater, and I want to play the Spurs. I'm just worried that that with this NBA Cup game, they're going to go all out.
Not even just the NBA Cup game. Like, the Spurs have been playing some decent basketball, but they've beat Washington.
Right.
They beat Sacramento, who was on a back-to-back.
Right.
They beat
overtime back-to-back.
Yeah, they beat Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are their last 3 wins. Like, are those really all that impressive? And Victor's been playing out of his mind. Don't get me wrong about that. He's been putting up the stats. But you got to think a guy like Anthony Davis looks across and goes, all right, like, it's time to put the kid back in his place. Like, it's time for me to have my big game against him. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lean towards the Lakers. First initial thought when I looked at this game, I was like, someone's got to be out on the Lakers side for this line to be 3. No one really is. So I think the Lakers win this game. I see where the Spurs love is coming from, but I just have to take the Lakers here. It's -3. I'm not sure the Spurs are actually a good team as much as they're just beating up on bad teams and Victor's putting up crazy stat lines. Now they have to play an actual decent team. Let's see how they do.
My argument for the Spurs would be that as good as Anthony Davis is, and even though I'm a Laker hater, I've given him credit for having the most defensive impact so far in this short season, is that Victor, and that's the reason we liked him so much coming out of school, right? Even a player of AD's caliber is really not going to be able to threaten his jump shot. He's still going to get clean contested looks. He doesn't really go on the hoop too much. And that was crazy about so Giannis and Victor both went over 50. And if you looked at the shot charts, they were exactly opposite. Almost all of Victor's were outside of the paint. Almost all of Giannis's were inside the paint. Now, normally I'm critical of big men who don't like to get down low, but in this case, I just think it goes to show that if that jump shot is working for him, I don't think there's going to be a lot as good as AD can do. And then we just really have to look at the rest of the players. Will Chris Paul be able to have a good night? I don't believe Sohan will play.
No, Sohan and Trey Jones are still out. But
they've got Vassell, Champagne, Harrison Barnes. I mean, they have an okay cast of characters around them. This is a good point, too, on the travel. It's a 5th straight home game, so should be a rested Spurs team. Yeah, Tyler, it looks like we're opposite here. If I were to play it, I'd play the Spurs, but we'll probably leave it off since we're on opposite sides. Do you have any final points about that game?
No, not really. I think that spread's too low, and I'm not fully sold on the Spurs.
So what do you think it should be? Because let's say we give them 2.5.
But like, just say a week ago, these two teams match up on Friday. What is this spread? I mean, Lakers like -6. Victor goes on a couple big games.
True. I mean, we did have to downgrade him. I mean, this was a terrible road trip by him.
Yeah,
they were absolutely housed by Cleveland.
Yeah, and then Victor goes on a nuclear run of 3 big games against teams in bad spots. All of a sudden, it's -3. We watched last year when Victor had these matchups. He let Embiid score 70. Jokic put up one of his biggest triple-doubles against him. AD had a 40 spot against this kid. Like, don't get me wrong, the kid's good. He's probably one of the better players in the league. He still doesn't know how to use his size, especially on the defensive end, outside of just blocking shots.
Yeah.
AD's going to get his tonight. I think LA wins this game. It's a toss-up, so I think we just stay away.
All right, fair enough. At least we get some Stephen A. Smith style arguing here.
And the other thing that I always think about when it comes to LA games, when LA has problems and they lose games, it's usually when there's another elite guard on the other side that just gives D'Angelo Russell hell and just torches him the whole game. Do we really think CP3 is torching anyone at his age?
No.
Okay.
All right. Good points there by Tyler. Why, even though the projections like the Spurs, probably be a no play from us. Tyler, this is definitely one I want to talk to you about. The Thunder are laying 7.5 to Phoenix. I have them winning by 10. Now, to be fair, you guys know that I run a simple model, and the Thunder have the highest net rating, and that's just the margin of victory in every single game. in the league. They're at plus 12.9, which is really high. Most of the time, the best teams by the end of the year are about plus 8, plus 9. So the Thunder have really been exceeding expectations. I was almost ready to pull the trigger on this one, Tyler, but my main concern is Caruso being out. I might be overvaluing him a little bit too much.
I think you are, just for the simple fact that there's like 6 of these guys on this team. They're just dogs on defense.
So Dort's going to be on KD, right?
Is he playing?
I hope so. I don't want to play the Thunder without Dort.
No, you said KD. Isn't KD out?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean Booker. I'm sorry. KD's out.
Yeah, Beal's also out.
Right. So Dort will be on Booker, right?
Yeah, and then Kason Wallace is the backup to guard Booker while they throw other bodies at him too.
Or they'll just run him the same exact minutes. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, Booker's got rest. I would just take Dort out then.
Phoenix really doesn't have anybody else. Like, Nurkic is there, but I could see him sitting. They just played last night. Or no, they played 2 nights ago. There was only one game last night. It's a weird spot. I mean, I like OKC. I mean, you got to stop.
We're going to get there. Because here's my final point, Tyler. Starters win games.
Yep.
Benches cover spreads.
Yeah, and we have the better bench.
Huge advantage on the bench. And for those of you guys who are going to be chilling and live betting tonight, you know, I would be looking at those spots when Phoenix goes to the bench. That's when I bet the Thunder. If you want to bet Phoenix, I would bet them when they bring all their starters back in after the first bench run sometime in the second quarter. Okay, sounds like we're going to get there, but we'll let all the Nuke the House subscribers know. Maybe you know this one, Tyler. AJ Mitchell?
No clue.
Is this college? Okay. Let's keep it going. This next game is tough, Tyler. The LA Clippers are taking on the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are -5, totals 214.5. Help me out here, Tyler. Didn't these teams just play?
I believe so. I think the Rockets covered it rather easily. Let me
They played on Wednesday night, right?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I think Houston covered rather easily. Let me get the exact score because, of course, anything can happen in the fourth quarter. But I remember looking at the score and Houston was cruising. Houston won the game of 111 to 103.
So Houston covered. This is essentially the same line. I wish I would have watched that game. We didn't have money on it last time because I remember the projections liked Houston, but the Clippers had a nice trends against them. They were like 9-1 straight up in their last 10 against Houston, which was one of the reasons we stayed off. Of course, it was James Harden's return to Houston as well. And we talk about the NBA and the fickle motivation spots. It's something to worry about here. Sometimes these ones are tough when it's back-to-back like this. And I have the Rockets right by 5. This is my closest one. I got the Rockets by 5, and I got it as a 216.
I like the Rockets again. They have one guy on the injury report, and it's Steven Adams. They're going to have all their defensive bodies out there to throw at the Clippers. Mm-hmm. You talk about starters winning games and benches covering. They have the better bench in this game. Like Eason and the Thompson twin might be the best 1-2 punch off a bench in the league. So I think they do exactly what they did the first time they played. I think the Rockets cover. So I'd take the Rockets again. All
right, Jason Graham, you hear that? You get the approval from Tyler, and we'll decide if we want to make that one official. 214 seems low, but these are two defensive-minded teams.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, this line is dropped. The Nuggets are now -2.5.
I'm going to stop you right there, spread, so you don't have to go through this. No one's betting this game. No Jokic means no Denver bet, and no one's betting the Pelicans.
Tyler, the Memphis Grizzlies are +7.5 in Golden State. Guys in the chat, if you really want to break down in that game, but I think it's tough.
I love the fact that there was no pushback either. It was just like, you know what? I think he's right. We're just going into the next one.
I mean, that's one thing that's tough about the NBA. You know, in the NFL, especially with that Game Pass where you got to watch the condensed versions, we can really watch most of the games if we want to, right?
Yeah.
In the NBA, we can't.
No, it's impossible.
You know, and so it's like, I'm not seen Denver's barely played without Jokic in the last 3 years. Say what you want about them,
but every time they do, they look absolutely terrible.
And then how do you handicap the Pelicans Aren't all 5 of their preseason starters missing?
Yeah, like you can't bet this game. Like if you bet this game and win, kudos to you. But like, there's just no way you could sit here and tell me you have like a logistical side in this game and a reason behind it.
All right. I want to talk to you about this one too, Tyler, because this is one that the projections liked, but I wasn't able to pull the trigger. I wanted to talk to you about it first. My projections like the Memphis Grizzlies to cover the 7.5 against Golden State. However, Golden State has been a wagon this year. Not only have they won, they have been winning by margin. I talked about net rating earlier. Golden State is in the top 5 of net rating, which means not only they're winning by margin. One thing about Memphis, though, we're going to say, well, John Morant's out. Look at the numbers; it's almost like the same team.
This could be missing a lot of other bodies though here,
but they're missing a lot of bodies every single night.
Yeah, I guess so. But like Bane could be out, Vince Williams could be out.
All right, how about this? Let's do it this way. The Grizzlies were plus 7.5 against the Lakers. Now they're plus 7.5 against the Warriors. That means the books think that these are the same exact teams. Do you think the Warriors and the Lakers are the exact same?
I think the Warriors are better right now.
Yeah, okay, that kind of argued against myself then. Now I'm not thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I see where you're coming from with the Memphis covers. They have been just basically to call it the gritty Grizzlies. Once they get John Morant out, they just keep these games close, and it's their grit factor. They go out there, they just fight, keep the games close, get physical. But Golden State, I mean, they've been rolling spread. I think this team's actually got a shot with the way they're built. Like maybe they add 1 or 2 more pieces, but they're playing good basketball. They had the added motivation last game against Dallas with the Klay Thompson thing. They've had this little rivalry going back and forth with Memphis for a few years. So, I mean, this could be a good matchup.
Does Memphis have a rivalry with everybody?
Pretty much, yeah. But Golden State has dominated this matchup.
They're just like shit talkers.
Yeah, they are the biggest shit talkers in the league. They adopted the Dylan Brooks role even after he left. But Golden State at home, 4-1 straight up in their last 5 at home. They're 7-0 straight up in their last 7 at home against Memphis. And they're 5-0 ATS in their last 5 against Western Conference opponents. Now, all 5 of those could not be Memphis, but the 7 straight at home against Memphis tells me something. They probably win this game. Maybe I bet it through a performance level instead of laying the 7, but I think Golden State picks up the win.
Okay. Then maybe we'll stay off it. That was one of the ones where, I saw the projections. I said, I don't know. But I had Memphis winning or Golden State winning by 4. Let's talk about my favorite team, Tyler, the Sacramento Kings. They are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Tyler, the Minnesota Timberwolves beat Sacramento at home, the second game of the season, and it was a close game. I really, as a Sacramento Kings fan, I really wish that Memphis would have done Minnesota would have done a little better in Portland. I don't like them coming down here off 2 straight losses.
That's not good.
Especially to a bad team. I mean, I think we're going to get I think with the cup, they would have been fully focused anyways. But I think the attention to detail is going to be at all-time high, and I think we'll see a little more aggressive play from Anthony Edwards. The Kings are also missing Malik Monk for sure, and potentially DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar is already ruled out.
So they're both ruled out?
DeMar is ruled out. Let me check the other name.
I know Monk is out and Carter, who doesn't play very much. I think.
Yeah, they're not showing on my thing. Let me check the other one real quick. It just shows one guy on there for me. Yeah, DeRozan out, Monk out, Carter also out.
Yeah. I got Minnesota winning by 2. The line is 1. Essentially pick the winner. Projections aren't going to help us. What do you think, man? I think this team matches up pretty well, and I think the Kings are getting them at a bad time.
I like Minnesota here in this spot. No DeRozan to be that extra guy to go get a bucket for Sacramento when they get stopped, and on the offensive end, I think Minnesota, just like you said, Minnesota's going to want to win. Ant's going to come in here. Sabonis isn't the best rim protector too, so Ant's going to eat at the rim. Yeah. I love his points prop over. I love a 30+ and win right here. I like Minnesota in this spot. I think they crush.
Okay. We will talk after the show and decide if we want to make that one official. But let's give them one for free right now. That's a for sure. Tyler, your favorite play on the board tonight?
Favorite play on the board tonight? Give me Detroit -2.
All right, that's our play. I took that one as well. We gave it out to the members this morning at -1.5. CLB probably won't matter, but hey, it can't hurt, right? The members will have the rest of the play real soon, because Tyler and I are going to talk about this as soon as we end the stream. And you think to yourself, you know what? I want access to these plays. I want to be up over 14 units on November 15th for a season that started on October 22nd. That's the type of thing I can get with. I want Discord notifications when the Sports Keg is live betting and crushing the NFL every Sunday. I want to be able to hang out and watch the UFC shows, which have continued to profit. And I want access to those NASCAR winners. We're just going to use the promo code Nuke November. You'll get your first week free. Even if you didn't get the first week free, the membership is going to pay for itself, assuming you're betting more than $5 a game. So this show is brought to you by NukeTheHouse.com. Our free play for the people is the Pistons -2. But we do want you to become a member. We want to see you hanging out in the Discord. We want to see you talking tennis with Signed Collectibles and Johnny Nelson in the tennis Discord. So come on over to NukeTheHouse.com. Promo code Nuke November. We'll be back on Monday. Nuke the House.